Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Hairy fan time again. And Postman Pats with an S have just been. Normal postie turned up, and as he was walking out towards the gate, there was a beep 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 and another van pulled up and another postie arrived. So I've had two Postman Pats in one day, which dispels the myth that there can be only one. So let's see what we got then. One of these you are going to be, well, this one you can work out what it probably is. If you keep your eye on previous videos, it was expected. I'm just getting this out of the package now because I'm filming anyway. I don't really need to film this. It's not an orchid. Right. Right, so what do we got here then? What we've got here is my shiny new thermostat to replace the one that almost burnt the place down. I often think that electrical fires are more than electrical fires, if you know what I mean, because if that unit had caught fire, the plastic would have melted and dripped onto a concrete floor. There's nothing down there that's going to catch a light. Everything in here is damp for a start, yeah? And the unit itself, if it actually started to burn, it's got a metal grid above it, some hardwood that you'd probably not even set alight with a blowtorch, and a brick wall. Now up on the ceiling, you've actually got bubble wrap. I don't know what that would do. That would probably melt and drip all over the place, but I don't think it actually burns very easily. But anyway, it would be better not to find out. So this is the new one. This is a thermostat as opposed to a humidity stat, which is the other one over there. You can see it in the distance, but they are matching units effectively. So the settings on here are going to be the same way to operate. And again, it's got its own extension lead, and it's got heating on one plug, cooling on the other plug, and there's a set of settings for each of those sockets. So at the moment the heater is running on its own thermostat, and I'm actually, for the number of weeks I've got left that I need a heater for, that's how I'm going to leave it. So I'm not wiring it up to this. What I'm going to wire up to this is these two big fans for their summer performance, because their summer performance is based on coming on as it gets warm. So I'll basically wire them together on a plug, and then I can just plug them in there and put the settings on there. So that's that one. Let's put that out of the way somewhere. And we'll get on to the interesting one. They say you can't always have what you want. They say you don't get what you wish for. You might not get what you wish for, but sometimes you do. And I've only got this with the help of our YouTube community, in effect, because this came up for sale on eBay and I hadn't seen it. And somebody sent me the link and said, you might be interested in this, and I got onto it, I had a look at it, and I thought, we are very interested in this, very, very interested in this. And Hannah was down for the weekend, so we both sat there and had a look, and she said, you won't get that plant again, that size, at that price. And I ummed and ahed, because it was a seller that, although he's got reasonably good, I wouldn't say excellent, but reasonably good feedback results, you start looking at some of the pictures of the plants and some of them are not right. They're not telling the truth. You know, you've got an oncidium that is a single bulb division in a pot that's classed as blooming size. It's not. It's going to have to grow another new growth at least before it becomes blooming size. Alright, I reckon Hector, I will unplug him temporarily. Yeah, so it was a back bulb or a bulb taken off of probably a mature blooming sized plant and put in a pot. That is not a blooming sized plant, it came off of one. So there were porcupines in amongst the plants. However, this one had several pictures of the actual plant with measurements. It is this high, it is in this size pot. So I thought we'll give that a go. And I'm surprised because it also said I send my orchids bare rooted. So I was expecting this to be bare rooted and having to mount it immediately. Well, it seems to have come Why would I want to read Bristol Property Live? Perhaps the seller works in an estate agent. Trying to rustle up some business. Right, first of all, it's a big plant. Therein lies the reason it's on the table. It's a big plant. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have got it. Simple as that. Right, let's see if we can get in here. Guess what it is yet? Probably a lot wouldn't guess what it is. But as you get nearer, I'll give you another clue. It's the only thing left on my wish list that I can now cross off. Hopefully, providing it's a good plant. Right, it looks slightly limp, but I'll live with that. This is Dendrobium Victoria Regina. It's the maturest plant I've ever seen for sale. Now it may have no flipping roots on it at all, but I can even live with that, because a plant this size will grow some fairly quickly if it hasn't got any. Well, it will here in this environment anyway. Now this could have been a recent import and just been stuck in a pot and it hasn't got any roots. Until we get this junk off. I mean, the stake is doing no good at all. It is useless. In fact, it's probably going to do more harm than good because it's going to wobble and drag the plant with it. So I'm actually going to take it off. And obviously this is going to get mounted, and if it's going to get mounted, it's coming off the stake anyway and coming out the pot. It's also getting that done almost immediately. So you get a kitchen time out of this as well. And while I'm at it, out in the kitchen, ferreting about with this one, I will sort out the other Dendrobium I got a few days ago, or a week ago, whatever it was, that was on that clay mount, because I want it off of there and on a wooden, well, bark mount. So we'll do them both together. So you've got a kitchen session coming up. What's today? I'm losing track here with Hannah down. It is Tuesday today. So I will probably do those tomorrow. But for those of you who've actually seen the video, I've been tagged. So that's another video I've got to do. I've got no shortage of material for videos at the moment. What I have got is a bit of a shortage of time to do them. But we will get on to it. But yeah, Rachel tagged me. It's a very unusual tag because it's not directly an orchid tag, but indirectly it is for me because of what it's about. It's basically about how you use YouTube. Now, I use YouTube for things other than looking at orchid videos, as do most people. You know, listening to music. There's all sorts of reasons for being on YouTube. Some of which are rather unsavoury, but we don't do any of that. Yeah, so it's a set of questions about how you utilise and use YouTube. Geared up to people that have got channels themselves, I believe, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a set of questions to answer. They're quite personal questions in places, you know, because my answer you might not like in some cases. Tough. Question's been asked, you get the answer. You always say, if you don't think you're going to like the answers, don't ask the question. Anyway, back to our plant. Why this plant is not bad at all is we have a cane bigger than anything I've got on the other plant that is still growing. We have a younger cane pushing on that is still growing. We have a larger cane heading towards maturity but still growing, so it hasn't got there yet. We do have a few manky marks on the leaves, which is what makes me think it might be an import. And what we have over here is a blooming size cane. These are blooming size canes, but not for a while yet because they haven't finished growing. So those won't come into their blooming season until next year. This one might. That is blooming size. That is a blooming size cane, no question about it. And as a deciduous plant, I think it's 2-year deciduous, so it drops its leaves in the cane's second season. As such, that's possibly going to bloom this season. I've waited a long time for the blooms off of this plant to actually exist in my grow room. Camera just never does them justice. So that's my new plant. I've got a tag, but oh my God, spelt wrong, but it'll do. Yeah, so in this case, this cellar was okay for me to use because with multiple pictures of that plant and measurements, I already knew that that long cane was 24 inches long from the bottom of the pot to the tip of the cane. So I already knew this was going to be quite a big plant. So good stuff. And as I say, this will be followed by a kitchen time video, which I will be filming it today. When you'll get it, I don't know. I'll do the unboxing one. It's Tuesday today. You've had one today. I'll do this one I'm filming right now tomorrow. Then we've got our questions and answers for Thursday, which may or may not take place, but I've had 2 people ask me a similar question that's actually one that takes a long answer. It's how to look after blah. Yeah? Well, those take a while. You can't just say, shove it in a pot and hope for the best, can you? I wouldn't have many viewers if I did things like that. Yeah, so I've got some questions and answers on Thursday, which will probably take place. So I haven't been through the comments recently to see if there are any more that I can hoik out. So I'll see what I can do there. And the kitchen time session will be the one on the table there that's just arrived, and this one that's on this funny clay thing, which will just get mounted, but I want to take advantage of getting it off of here because I don't like it, even though it might actually be brilliant. I don't want to take the risk, and the roots haven't attached, and I've got new roots coming. So those two go out in the kitchen and both get put on mounts. That is a naturally pendulous or at least arching over type orchid. It does not grow bolt upright, it arches. So that will be mounted upside down, my normal trick. Let's get it pendulous to start with rather than forcing it to try and do it itself. So we'll hang that upside down, and we got 3 growing canes and at least 1 blooming size cane, capable of blooming if it's happy here. So that's those 2, and a little glimpse of what is to come in the near future. We'll see how we go with things. And as Postman Pat came up to the door and knocked, because none of that would go through the letterbox, I opened the door and went, "Stranger, stranger!" And quite honestly, both of them immediately stepped back from the door before I'd opened it. They're all already anticipating staying with a good gap between people. So they're behaving themselves. I bet not everybody is, but you take little things. I'm not sure to do this on a broadcast, but none of my viewers know my sister. Yesterday is market day down Christchurch, which I would imagine was pretty dead, quite honestly, to be sensible. Yeah? So what does my 90-year-old mother do? Get the bus down to the market. If I'd been there, there'd have been a row. What my sister said wouldn't be repeatable, I expect, knowing her. But how stupid can you get? I'm sorry, the fact that it's my mother's irrelevant. How stupid can you get? Somebody who's not in good health, 90 years old, is going to get on public transport and go to a market with crowds of people pushing and shoving around. Well, there might not be. That was just, let it go. Stay in. But she's another one of those, you can't say anything to her, so... I'm sure you people have got far more sense. See you next time. I'll add this on the end, having just done boxes, unwrapping, and the typical unboxing video. What do you think I'm going to do next? In fact, I've already done it. I went straight out in the kitchen, washed my hands thoroughly with anti-bac soap and very hot water. You're going to get reminders frequently because it takes a while for it to become an instinctive habit, which I believe is what we're now into. Habits have got to change. We've got to change the way we go about our lives, thinking not only of ourselves but of others. Keep the community alive and well. So, do your bit for yourself. If you're ill, somebody else has got to risk themselves coming to help you. So stay well, stay safe. Let's keep it going.